This is Evelyn here.
Yes, this is Evelyn.
She has such a nice smile.
The story of modern-day human trafficking often begins in neighborhoods like this in rural Nigeria. Places where young people, like Joy Ogagbon's daughter, Evelyn, dream of a better life for their families and give up everything to try and find it. A year ago, Evelyn was a happy and ambitious student finishing her school, but then she disappeared without warning. Days passed before her brother Stanley's phone rang.
I was shocked to see Libya number. Who is this? Say it's Evelyn. Evelyn, what are you doing in Libya?
Evelyn had joined thousands of other Nigerians who traversed the Sahara Desert to reach Libya, where they crowd into boats to cross the Mediterranean into Europe. But, like nearly 1 million other migrants, Evelyn got stuck in Libya, apparently held captive by those she'd paid to take her across. Joy Ogagbon demanded that the captors return her daughter.
The woman said no, agreement, come back. Unless we go give her 750,000. Let me say, I don't have that kind of money.
Ogagbon couldn't come up with the roughly $2,000. They haven't heard from Evelyn since.
Nigeria is one of the top countries in Africa as far as the number of people who try to leave here to go find a different life up in Europe. And Edo State, which is where we are right now, accounts for the vast majority of Nigerians leaving the country. Almost half the people who depart come from right here.
While Nigeria makes a lot of money from oil, corruption, poverty, and high unemployment have sent young people looking for opportunities elsewhere for years. The money those migrants send back helps their families build houses and buy cars, propping up the local economy and fueling the cycle of more migration. This young man, he prefers to be known only as Amos, was told he could find work easily in Europe. At the time, Amos's life wasn't bad. His family lived in a large home, he took vacations with friends, he had a girlfriend, and he was going to school to become a nurse. But he says the smugglers promised him an easy journey.
Told me in 2-3 weeks' time that I will be in Europe.
In 2 to 3 weeks' time, you give us the money, and in 2 weeks we'll put you in Europe.
Yes.
It's embedded in the cultural fabric in that part of the country that people migrate.
Franz Celestine is Deputy Chief of Mission of the UN's Migration Agency in Nigeria. He says the cultural pressure to go abroad and find a new life, like here in Italy, is a powerful force on young Nigerians.
It's a source of pride to say that I have 2 kids in Atlanta, or I have a son in London, I have a daughter in Geneva. And because of that, that then put the pressure on the next family to send their son or daughter to those countries.
But as many find out, the journey to Europe is often much harder than advertised. Immigration crackdowns in Europe and tighter controls on visas are now sending people on this dangerous path. Those caught on the Mediterranean are often sent back to detention centers in Libya, where conditions are bleak. Amos spent 2 weeks crossing the Sahara, most without food or water. They became so dehydrated, he said he and others resorted to drinking their own urine. Once in Libya, his smugglers betrayed him, selling him off in a slave market, much like this one seen in video obtained by CNN.
Big, strong boys for farm work, he says. 400. 700.
I spent more than a week in that place because I was sold out to someone.
He says he was bought and sold 3 times and ended up in a cell where he was beaten with a pipe. He was told his freedom could be bought for about $1,100.
I was asked to call my parents to send money so that they will release me. They told me to tell my parents to send 400,000 to release me. So, which I did. I called my mother.
Amos's mother, back home in Benin City, was horrified. She hastily sold the family home to pay the ransom for her son. That's it behind the gate. Amos was let go, but then got kidnapped again. During a final melee, he was shot in the arm. Some of the bullet is still lodged in his elbow. He can't afford surgery to get it fixed.
Can you bend it this way?
Just like this.
That's it?
Yes.
So you really cannot use your arm?
No.
And forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us.
Many of the women who attempt this journey are forced into doing sex work. We visited this Catholic shelter where several women have returned from Libya. This woman in the tan scarf asked that we not use her name and hide her identity. She left home last year after being promised a fashion job in Europe. But when she arrived in Libya, she discovered there were other plans for her.
I'll be begging the man.
I was begging the man. He should please. Even if it is housework, he should find me work, so I don't have to go to a prostitution house. The man will say no, and he'll be beating me every morning.
She resisted and says she was raped.
I was raped when I was going to Tripoli.
I was raped when I was going to Tripoli by some Arabs. Since that time, I was pregnant.
I'm very sorry.
She said she hadn't yet told her family she was back in Nigeria. The UN's migration agency flew more than 2,000 Nigerians home last December. That's more than double the number in all of 2016. More than 6,700 were returned from Libya in 2017. But far more are setting out than are being returned. This man has helped smuggle people on that journey. He says he's helped over a dozen get through Libya and into Europe. He showed me pictures of people he says he's helped land in Italy and Spain. Despite what we heard from nearly every migrant we spoke to, he claims everyone knows the risks.
I said, the journey is bad. The journey is not good. Out of 100, only 10 survive it. I saw it with my eye. You will know.
So you knew hundreds were going and only a few make it through.
Yeah, few.
He also says that almost all women will end up doing sex work.
90% of them do sex work.
90% of them
90%, yes. They are doing it.
And you explain that completely to them before they begin the journey?
Yes.
Do the parents know that their daughters will end up doing sex work?
Not all parents. Some know.
Does knowing how hard the journey is, how dangerous it is for people, make you feel like maybe I shouldn't be doing this job?
You see, they rather go and die in Libya than to remain here suffering, doing nothing.
But it's not money alone that compels migrants to stay on this risky path. Traffickers often demand young people undergo this unique ritual before they leave. Aziza is a juju priest in Benin City. Juju is a spiritual practice common in West Africa. For a fee, Aziza demonstrated the protective blessing he performs on migrants who are about to go.
To cross that big river, that river is very bad.
The ocean.
The ocean. There is many spirits in that ocean.
But anti-trafficking groups say the rituals often serve another purpose, to threaten the young people that if they run from their smugglers, they'll be cursed and will suffer terribly.
People generally believe that there's power in this. They believe.
It's just a tool of coercion.
Exactly. Just a tool of coercion. They fear that if they run away, something will happen to them.
Roland Wonha runs a local nonprofit that's been sounding the alarm about trafficking. His group, Idia Renaissance, tries to reach vulnerable kids and teach them skills that they can use to earn a living here in Nigeria. But he says it's hard to combat the pull of Europe, especially in the digital age.
We live in a society where we have become very westernized, We see a lot through the media, the social media especially now. Everyone has access to Facebook. It creates a general feeling that once you arrive the Western world, everything is good, everything is perfect.
Despite all their efforts to stop them, young Nigerians continue to leave the country by the truckload. Some make it, most do not. Some are never heard from again.
Okay.
A year later, Evelyn Ogagbon is still missing.
I'm looking for my daughter, yes.
Every time her mother Joy hears a rumor that more young people are being returned, she goes to the drop-off spot, hoping today will be the day Evelyn comes home. There's an expression in Nigeria that says, "It is better to lose your child than for your child to be missing." It's an expression of the anguish and the worry that thousands of parents like Joy have to endure every day.